Welcome to another edition of the Cooker's Corner podcast, live from Twisted Wrestling Studios. You've heard of Between Two Ferns. Well, we've got Between Two Palm Trees with Christmas lights on them. And the guys to my right aren't Santa's elves. I guarantee you that. It is Christmas, and I'd like to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to the people out there that I actually like. The rest of you, well, who cares about that, right? But I've known these guys for over 30 years. Proud Malenko alumni. The legendary Southern Posse, Sonny T.
Bob, good seeing you.
Good seeing you, Bob. Thanks for having us.
I appreciate you coming down.
Appreciate that, my brother.
All right, that's about it. Let's go. You know,
to open up when you start this out, I just want to wish issue a thank you, special thank you to Joe Saraceno and yourself, Bob Cook, for bringing us out here. And I don't even know where we're at, but I know you, Bob, and I know how much you love Mountain Dew. And we stopped at one of these little stores on the side, and I figured we'd pick you up a little. It's Christmas time, pick you up a little something special. So I'm going to present it to him right now. Here you go, Bob. Oh, Mountain Dew.
Okay. I thought it was a porno, but I'll do the do. But seriously, I'm glad you guys are here. And like I said, I've known you for a long time. We made many trips to WCW back. Did you guys ever work for WWF?
Yeah.
Okay. We can throw that in there. Yeah. We say WWF because we're old school. That's what it mattered. It matters now. That's right. Cherry Funk boots, I don't know what they were. But. And as you can see, they brought all the gimmicks. You know, the last time you had that cowboy, he wrapped it outside my head last year.
Well, when you get booked against the Southern Posse, you never know what's going to happen.
Battle Royal, it's all for one and one for all, I guess.
Ain't that the truth?
And I thought you were a friend. But the rebel flag doesn't have me disturbed. If it has you disturbed, turn the channel.
Yeah, there's a lot of time between the 90s and the day we're in now. People are a lot softer today than they were then. That flag meant nothing, no different today than it meant back then. It was just Southern living, Southern boys living the Southern way. That was it. And we did that quite well, didn't we, T?
We did, man. I tell you what, we had a lot of good years. A lot of good years.
A whole decade. The decade of the 90s was ours.
And we could say, considering the time of year, you snowflakes should fit right in. Oh, get it, snow, winter, Christmas, Happy New Year, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you guys coming. And you were trained by, you were second generation wrestler, correct?
Second generation, yes, sir. My dad was in the business for a short stint in the 60s, late 60s, where I was born. And his name was Gentleman Jim Thames, hence the Gentleman Rick Thames is where that comes from. And he was with some known wrestlers, Billy Blue Rivers and what was his, Beverly Shade. Very, very influential people to me at a young age. Yeah. Started my fever and my dream to what would come to eventually cross paths with the great Malenko.
Yeah, I worked for Beverly and Billy. Beverly passed away like a year ago or last year. And Billy this year.
Right, yeah.
They were great people to work for, especially in the early years of my career. And I'm not here to talk about my career, even though we should, because let's be honest, my show. But anyways, they were great people. A lot of fun. They learned so much. That was why I did TV with them. We had a lot of people working for him too. We had Doc Baker. He was my manager. It was a lot of fun.
Okay. Yeah, my dad, he did a movie, Fireball Jungle, back then. I think it was Billy with Billy and them and stuff. And a lot of neat, good stuff. He wasn't in the business long.
Yeah.
But enough, like I said, to give me the fever and the will and the want. And championship wrestling from Florida was really my, what gave me the inspiration to want to do it.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
So you were both fans growing up?
Absolutely.
That helps.
Yep. Dusty Rhodes.
You think you'd have been more successful, though, if you're, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That's a joke. You got a little.
It was a joke, Bob.
I forgot. Oh, we are in a wrestling ring, too.
Yeah.
A real wrestling ring.
Yeah. But the feuds with the Assassin and Dusty Rhodes, those were my two awesome villain and the good guys. And, man, what
I think
nothing better.
The Assassin was one of the best masked wrestlers of all time.
He was.
Promo, great interview promo guy.
Yeah.
Awesome in the ring, believable from head to toe, Great punches, something that lacks in today's wrestling.
Yeah, here's a one that we were in WCW at Center Stage, and at that time I kind of really didn't know that Jody Hamilton was the Assassin, and we had a superb match against Stars and Stripes, Del Wilkes and Buff Bagwell.
Yep.
tore it down, knocked it out of the park, had a great match, and come around the corner there, and Jody Hamilton, he's like, yeah, he's really pumping us up. And later I come to find out that was the assassin, Jody Hamilton, that really loved our match. So to be at that point in our lives in the 90s and getting that type of reception was nothing better in my career, I don't believe.
You know what's funny? There was a book that came out in the early 70s called Whatever Happened to Gorgeous George. And it was a book that exposed the business. And it listed all the masked wrestlers of the era, including the real names.
Yeah.
And Jody was in it.
Oh.
So you should have known long before WCW is what I'm trying to say. Learn your history. Oh, no.
Well,
we didn't get much schooling.
Second generation wrestler, my ass. You don't know.
You can see we didn't get much schooling. All we knew how to do was fight.
That's true.
Okay.
You were good at that. You were good at that.
And I know we were good at that.
The last time I saw you guys fight was against a Dirty Blondes, Michael
Blonde.
Patrick, and that dirty bastard. What's his name? Brian. Can't think of his name. Brian Brock.
Brian Brock.
Yeah, Brian Brock.
No, I'm just kidding. I know his name. So they're both fantastic. You guys had a bloody brawl. It was outside. Remember that?
Yeah.
Of course you remember that.
Well, they underestimated us, so that's what they thought they were going to use us to accelerate themselves, and
That's
they
what
found
guys
out.
do. Did it work?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
Well, there's still a chance.
These younger generation come up, have no respect for us that's been out there for years and traveling. We're not flying everywhere. We were in a van with 6, 7 other people, driving 8, 9 hours, doing the show, driving the next town, doing this, doing that. Now, they got their buses, they got their airplanes, they got,
And you know the one thing I don't remember? I don't remember anybody complaining about it.
No.
When I was there, man, I wanted to be there. I loved being there. And when the show was over, I couldn't wait to get to the next show.
I was looking forward to it every week,
That's it.
and I couldn't wait to come back.
On the rare occasions that I would be home longer than I wanted, I couldn't wait to get. I was like, I gotta get back on the road,
Yeah, you live up here, you go home, and you're like, can't wait to get back up.
Right, it's weird.
Not that anything's wrong with home, but
No, but there were times you'd be on the road and you're just like, God, I can't wait to get home. Then you're home for a day or two. You're like, oh, I can't wait to get back on the
Let's
road.
get back up there. Let's do it.
There's a few fringe benefits on the road. Well, that plus hotels. They clean your sheets every night. It's a hotel.
clean your room every day.
Housekeeping. Oh, I used to hate that.
Yeah.
I still sleep with a pillow over my head because of the way the hotel rooms always had light coming in. To this day, I still sleep with a pillow over my head.
Wow.
Because of hotels, because the wrestling business corrupted my sleeping habits.
Is that the reason, or is it because that girl? No.
Wait, what's her name?
I didn't say that.
Christy? No, wait.
But yeah, some of those were the best times, Bob. Traveling up and down the road with you, David Penzer, some of the guys that were regulars that come up through there. It just made the trip so fun. There's lots of stories to be told. Don't know whether we want to tell them or not, but there was.
Yeah, we had like our core group. We had Mike Thor was part of it. Chris
There you
Sullivan.
go. Okay, Chris Sullivan. He bought a car.
Rick Ryder. Remember Rick Ryder?
Rick Ryder, yeah.
Flavia.
Penelope Paradise.
Penelope
She would come out
Paradise,
every
yes,
once in
she
a while.
did.
Yeah. Made the trips fun for sure.
Were you on
no
that
doubt.
trip the time where Penelope had Chris Sullivan almost pull a gun on us? He threatened to kill us all. He was driving and she wouldn't quit needling him. And he's like, shut up, I'm gonna kill you. And he slid the car off and he went out and got his gun. He went out and got the gun. He said, shut up or I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, there were several times that were like that. I'd never seen a gun, but I did see him way back there when we took off and left him standing there with his bags.
Yeah.
It could have happened. I don't know.
The funniest part about that incident was that he finally calmed down. He got back in the driver's seat because everybody's like, come on, Kim, leave him alone. Or Penelope, leave him alone. And Sylvie gets driving down the road. She goes, so Chris, are you going to kill us or what? Started right back on him again. It was classic.
Yes, it was.
You had to be there, but obviously they weren't. So no, you might have been. I forget a lot of things.
There was so many of them.
I was talking to Penelope the other night. She doesn't even remember being at Malenko's funeral, and I swear she was right next to me. And two other people have, confirmed that, but she still denies her presence.
No, I was there, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
I was there.
Even
That
as
was a
Sean
sad day.
Waltman, was Penelope there? Because he was there too, but he couldn't remember.
Yeah.
But you guys were champions too. I've seen pictures of you with the belts.
Well,
When you used to do shows at the old sport, were you ever on Shannon Rose's show?
Yes.
That was fun.
In fact, that's what this show reminds me of. A little reminiscent of back in the day. Shannon Rose, Pro Wrestling Weekly, had everybody on that show.
Yeah, we had
I
so
think
much
maybe
fun on there.
Jody might have been on there at one time. There were so many,
Jody Malenko, by the way.
Jody Malenko, yeah.
We always have the great Malenko near and dear to our hearts, and always will be. We love that man with everything we have. He trained us. He put it in our brain what wrestling should be, and the respect we have for it still to this day.
Exactly.
I just wanted to mention that.
That's right.
And by the way, I don't mean to interrupt the proceedings, but you did give me this, and I want to let the gift horse on the
You're
mouth.
welcome,
I want to put this in mine.
You're welcome. Thinking of you, Bob. But one of the great things about Malenko, when he trained you how to precisely, exactly do the moves the way they should be done each and every time you do them. And that was his emphasis and focus on that right there. Everything else was your originality. That's different than what they teach today. They kind of leave the basics out, mastering the basics, and then get into all the showmanship and all that. But I would take no other trainer than the great Malenko.
And he was a great human being.
Really
too.
great.
Yes, he was. And another thing on his training, he wouldn't send you out there or recommend you if you weren't ready.
Right.
He would not send you out there to make, like you see some guys now, they shouldn't be in the ring.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I wrestling boots on.
no,
Sadly-
not just that. They shouldn't be nowhere around a ring.
And sadly, some of them are on national TV.
Oh, yeah.
Lucky for them. I hope they appreciate it. They probably don't. They probably, you know what they did? They make more money than we ever did. They're bigger stars than we ever were, but they probably sit around and bitch and moan constantly. Oh, why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? Be happy you got a job in the business, pal, making money, because we wish we had it.
We did it the old school way. We fought for it. We earned it.
Right.
That's what it took.
Back in the day, back when we were coming up, it wasn't none of this. Lighten up, lighten up, lighten up.
Well, for me it was, because I was a sissy. Like
Potato City,
some of the boys, you get in the ring with the Steiners, the Nasty Boys.
Well, they never hurt me.
Harlem Heat, Road Warriors.
Well, here's the thing, Sonny. When we first started, I don't know if you remember this, working back at the Sportatorium, we started gaining a reputation because these guys, they're stiff, they're a little tight, and this and that. Well, we first started after our training. We went to the Sportatorium and we worked guys like the Star Riders, Terminators. Some of these guys have been in the business a long, long time. Mm-hmm. And when we got in there, if they seen what level we were at, or we seen what level we were at when we worked them, and we got the snot knocked out of us,
Yeah.
And we said, this is the level where we need to be. So we brought ourselves up to that level. So therefore, everybody that came to see us, that's where we gained our reputation. These guys are hurting. We weren't hurting you. We were giving you the same exact standard that was given to us. And if you can't handle it, take a hike.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about
some people
did. Can we address the elephant in the room, which is no longer in the room because he's dead? 19-something, I don't remember, but WCW, center stage. I remember the guy named Big Van Vader, one of the biggest jerks to ever walk the earth. And, he was hurting guys left and right, and every week he was told to stop hurting guys left and right, but he didn't care. All he cared about was getting himself over, even though it was his job, my job, and his job to get them over, help them get them over. Mm. Not that they necessarily needed it, but they didn't need to use us as examples of disrespect.
Yeah.
And I actually seen guys look at their name on that chalkboard that used to be at Center Stage or anywhere the WCW was. And they go, Vader. And next thing you know, hey, where's Johnny? And he was here a minute ago. The guy took off. So I'm sitting next to Rick and he finds out he's wrestling Vader and I'm just like ribbing. I'm like, so should we contact your next of kin? Your girlfriend? What do you want us to do? We'll let Dave know you're not riding back with us, whatever. And he's like, I'm just trying to goof with you. And Vader comes in and he's like, oh, I'm working with you. He goes, don't worry, kid, it'll be okay.
Yeah, I think I had my Subway sandwich and just got back. I was looking to work and, some maybe the young pistols or something like that, and seen the board and there's Vader. I just threw my Subway in the trash because that's where that's going anyway. But I buckled up and I went in there and I did my job and I took what was coming to me. Not that I had it coming to me, but hey, it is what it is, and it was rough. It was very rough.
First thing he did is he busted your nose and blood's everywhere.
Yeah, I've never had my nose busted or it's not. He didn't break my nose, but
you're supposed to embellish stories, Rick.
I'm just telling the truth.
If it was bloody, it was broken.
It was bloody, it was broken. It was massive. No, but I do remember laying on the mat. I was knocked out for about 5 seconds. Then I came to, and I was like, "Well, what do we do now?"
Then he knocked you out the rest of the way.
Then he just commenced to go ahead and rub some paint on my face. It was working a gimmick, this thing, and roughed me up with the strap. They were having a strap match or something like that. And then Harley Race came out there, and it was some good times. I was there to work, and that's what we did.
The one thing I remember most of after that, you were laying on the floor in the dressing room, your nose was bleeding, and Vader walked in, and he went, "Yeah, you'll be okay," and he walked out.
Yeah,
that's how much he didn't care. There
was no remorse whatsoever. But I do know the guys, the veterans in the back, Paul Orndorff, Jody, and Arn, and several other guys, they were pretty ticked. They were pissed.
Speaking of Orndorff, were you there when he handed Vader his ass? Because I wish I was. Oh, you guys were there?
I was right there.
All the times I wish I was there. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I wish I would have been there.
Oh, you weren't there?
No. Of all the times.
Yep.
We were there, and there's a lot of conflicting stories. And some say that Vader punched Orndorff. It didn't happen. He said something, and he went to make a move. Next thing, rat-a-tat-tat-tat, and he was down, and the flip-flops were flying.
Yeah, Paul was wearing flip-flops. Speaking of which, Merry Christmas.
All you heard was things rumbling, everything behind that closed door. And
well, that was before. You had Paul had Vader in the corner putting the flip-flops to him, and Kevin comes around here. No, it's very good. Got him stood up, and he goes, "All right, one way to settle this." Opened the door and pushed them both in, and then that's where the tables and the walls and everything started coming down. It was a sight. I
felt something in Florida. I thought something was going on.
Yeah, it was.
I wish I would have been there. Oh my God, because Vader was such a jerk.
Yep.
But from experience, you would have been better off wrestling the Young Pistols. Just saying.
Actually, I did.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah.
Steve Armstrong and
I think that was my actual first match. I wasn't with Sonny, but me and the Sarge.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Yeah, me and Sarge against Tracy and
we worked
Steve
Armstrong's up there.
Yeah, we worked Armstrong many times.
Yeah, many times.
Yeah, they were awesome. Brad, you ever work with Brad?
I don't.
No offense to the other Armstrongs, Brad was the best.
No. Awesome. I think I did. I don't know, like a 6-man or something, but
yeah,
I'm not sure.
I even worked with Bob once.
Or were they in Dothan? We worked Dothan. Armstrongs wasn't one of them. Brad and
Brian.
Anyway,
Brian went on to become the Road Dog.
The Road Dog. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But probably each and every worker from the '90s on the roster, WCW, we have put them all over.
Yep. Proudly,
exactly.
I never felt bad about oh, you got to lose. Of course, you had to lose. Who cares? Like I said before, and I think it was a different podcast, but when you win, you never really win, and when you lose, you never really lose.
Yeah. The win or lose, is when you walk out of the ring, you're still all in peace.
Yeah.
And,
well, unless you wrestle Vader. Back there again.
But
he broke that guy's back.
Yeah.
I was the next match out after he broke that guy's back.
I think that was after.
Yeah, might have been. Yeah. But I was the next match out after that. I was wrestling the Z-Man, which was like, compared to Vader, night off and a half. Oh. And Vader came back after breaking that guy's back. He sat on the floor behind the curtain. He was crying. And I'm sitting there thinking, what's this fat slop crying for? He finally realized he's going to lose his job, or does he actually have compassion for the guy he might have just crippled? I don't know which one it was, but I have a feeling it was one.
He didn't care.
No, but the funniest part about that was later that night they said, we can't air Vader's match because it was too brutal. We need to redo it, even though they ended up airing it. Mm-hmm. We need to redo it, and we need somebody to work with Vader.
Yeah.
There's all these guys standing in the hallway, and I'm standing in the hallway, and people scattered like roaches. And I'm standing by a payphone. Remember payphones? And I grabbed the payphone, turned my head to the wall, and I'm like, act like I'm talking. So that went on to,
That's good. That's good. I must say this, though. I got lost on train of thought there. I wanted to say something about, the time that I worked Vader, and he bloodied my nose, and I was very early in the business, rookie in the business. Yeah. I really didn't have many years on
a little thinner.
A lot thinner. But I was laying there, and looking back at it now, I should have just jumped up and put myself over and just crawled him like a monkey. And just, but, just being young in the business, you don't really know those things.
Younger, thinner, but you still had all the gray hair. It was weird. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I had no gray hair, baby.
I'm just kidding. Black. None of us did.
Yeah, I had hair.
You ever watch the show
Yeah.
Heels?
I only got
He looked a
halfway
little bit
through
like
it,
the
though.
guy from Heels. What's his
Yeah.
name? Buffalo Bill. It's a
Buffalo.
great character on the show.
Yeah, that guy, he got everybody over, didn't he?
Yeah,
The whole
I have a
show
friend on
promotion and
Facebook who doubled for him in the actual action scene.
Mhm. Well, enough for big fat ass Bader.
But we had to bring it up though. The
That's,
elephant in
that's
the room.
just a small portion of the great career that my partner, Big Sonny T.
Yeah, I wanted to bring something up there. Remember you talking about Penelope and that with a gun and all that. Chris, you remember the time we were in Puerto Rico when we were leaving that show? And they said, we got to go. We got to get out of here.
Oh,
We gotta
yeah,
get
yeah.
out of here. Yeah. We get in the van, the guy's driving, talking about guns. These 2 cars following us, just popping rounds at the van. And here we come to a toll stop. Told the driver, I don't know who was driving, don't stop, keep going. We went straight through, man, I tell you, and then we finally lost them. But they were after us. Talking about, guns. I wanted to bring
Yeah, I don't know. There was several of those times.
Yeah.
That was one part thing about Puerto Rico. Well, when we first got there, that first show at TV that night, there was a kid, 7, 8 years old, with a 38 in his hand. I was like, oh, what have we gotten ourselves into here?
Yeah.
And,
Bruiser Brody is a definite lesson from Puerto Rico.
yeah, you don't go there and get too loose, that's for sure. I wouldn't recommend it.
No. Well, it is their country, so.
Well,
Uh,
but we have had some of the greatest matches in Puerto Rico that are not on tape because they taped over everything there. I think we have an anniversary show that's out on YouTube. Southern Posse versus Invaders 3 and 4, I think. Yeah, that's out there.
yeah.
But we had a lot of great matches. Wrestled a lot of good people down
We had
there.
some
And
great matches with Ricky Santana and Ray Gonzalez.
yeah, Ray Lay, Gonzalez, the Farmers,
We took the belts from Sean Morley and
Glamour Boys. Glamour Boys down there.
Sean
yeah.
Moore, was that Valvinus?
Valvinus
We
and,
went down there and they had the belts. We took the belts from them when we went down there. And
Wasn't easy.
Were they still drawing?
Wasn't easy. There's no air in Puerto Rico, by the way. There's no oxygen.
Ebbs and flow, as they say.
Yeah.
I think we were there in what, 96.
96 we were there. We had that anniversary of 96
Yeah.
there. What an experience. It really was. We were supposed to go to Japan after that. We had, you know how it is. You get bookings here and there, and it doesn't go through and all that. But we were pretty close of going with Victor Quinones up there, and I think something happened. I don't know. But we never made it. It was maybe a good thing because it was FMW.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we were willing to cut and gut.
We wanted to go.
But,
well, they were doing crazy stuff. Like
yeah, we were crazy, bro.
Exploding ring matches. That match with Sabu and the Sheik and whoever.
Exploding,
the whole ring was on fire and they had to get out or they would have died.
Yeah,
you ever see that one?
One with Terry Funk in it out there too.
Yeah, with Onita.
Oh yes. Whoa.
But they had that match where the ropes were like covered with towels and they had kerosene on them and the whole rope started on fire and they had to get out.
And it got way too
engulfed the
hot.
oxygen and all that. And
Right.
we were just willing to, bleed ear to ear. So I mean,
Mark Starr worked for them for a while.
Yeah, Miss
And
Mark.
Mike Awesome.
Mike
remember Mike?
Awesome.
Another one on the road that we were talking about.
Yeah,
Mark
we had
Starr.
some fun with with Mike and Mark.
Mike and Mark. Yeah,
I think Mike was related to Bill Alfonso, wasn't he?
I heard that. I'm not sure,
You never know.
but I think he's related to the Hulkster too. And
Was that Mike Awesome? Or was that a Horace Boulder guy?
I know
Horace Boulder. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Or Horace.
And he was a friend of whatever.
I think they called him Horace Hogan in
At one
WCW.
time,
Horace
yeah.
Hogan and Horace Boulder.
I get confused.
Yeah. Rightfully so, man.
Oh yeah, it's like I say. The last time I saw you, hit me in the head with that thing.
Yeah.
We were talking about being stiff and people being loose and snug. In a battle royal company, just that top wrist look. I was like, but I thought he was my friend.
It's been a while, so when you get in there, you just go back to your roots, and it all comes together. Yeah.
But I know my punches were that close to not hitting him.
Yeah, I disagree with that one.
No. That's a bunch of crap. You ever see the old episode of Night Court when Bull was trained to be a wrestler?
No, I didn't see that. I love
It
Bull.
was a hilarious episode. And one of the scenes, this guy's coming back from the ring, he's a bald guy. He's got a cut in his head. And he goes up to his opponent. He goes, "Do you know that you came that close to hitting me tonight?" I just thought it was funny. Inside joke in the business.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a shoot interview. We don't sugarcoat things.
Going on a different thing now. Ray Malenko, he trains some of the greats in the ring.
Yeah.
In the ring, man. And the people that's come out of Florida that he's trained.
You ever see that list that Frankie Reyes made?
Yeah.
Frankie Reyes.
That list isn't even complete either.
Yeah,
You can go on and on, but he's got it covered pretty good.
Yeah. Big
I'm
legend.
proud to be on that list. All three of us are on that list.
I'm near the top. I don't know where they are on the list.
You're on the top because, Jody Simon. By the way, Jody Simon told me to give you a message. I'll wait till the end of the show. I'll wait till the end of the show.
You got that bell. No, Jody, that's why you brought the bell.
Yeah, Bobby, I remember back Suncoast Pro Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
When we first started up, man.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Rico Federico took me to the limits there, buddy.
I talked to Folk Forest on the phone the other day, trying to get him on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we had a lot of fun in Suncoast. Especially that Mass Superstar. That guy was racist. He should have carried the.
Yeah.
But that was so much fun. You guys were there, yeah, definitely.
It was.
Were you the Southern Posse in Suncoast?
We just right towards there was when we formed.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And Malenko, by the way, is the one that put us together. He must have
really?
Yeah.
He was like the guy in charge of Suncoast.
Yeah.
Henry Raines owned it.
Yeah, we didn't work as a tag there at Suncoast.
No.
I think our tag started at some of the school shows and things like that. And Fritzy kind of collaborated with us.
I'm just kidding.
Skipsy Fritzy. And
I punched him a couple of times.
We all just kind of collaborated, came up with the name Southern Posse, and here and there and there, put our things together. And it was our wrestling and our skills that came from the great Malenko is what kept us together. Gave us 10 easy years, a decade of the 90s that were, in my opinion, the best.
And you carved out a niche for yourself, and you made yourselves into a legend, at least in Florida.
Yeah.
Let's not exaggerate the worldwide, but
Right.
when I posted that you guys were coming here, when you see all the real legends in wrestling that comment like awesome, this is gonna be awesome, love those guys, that means more than anything, right?
Yes.
It sure does.
When we first.
Do we ever honor you guys as the legends once?
Yes, absolutely.
I gotta call Brian and tell him.
What an honor.
We gotta call Brian and tell him to take your names off that play.
Hey, we'll take 2 times. We're good enough to have 2.
Back in the early days and all that, we were 3-time tag team of the year in the state of Florida.
Wow. I'll agree with that.
Remember, they gave out awards at the Sportatorium back in the day.
3 years.
Shannon was the host.
3 years.
Shannon Rose.
He was tag team of the year, state of Florida.
His show was so much fun. We got in brawls on that show, me and Robbie.
Yep.
There's one brawl where we're rolling around and Penelope's biting Robbie on the butt and stuff. Yeah, Shannon was great.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, old pal.
We closed that Sportatorium, the world famous Tampa Sportatorium. We, all together as independent guys, basically closed that. We had some of the very last matches in that building there. And what an honor and privilege to come from here watching. Actually, that's where I was turning on to Bob Cook, was watching Championship Wrestling from Florida.
You said turn on.
Yeah. But, we closed that building out in great fashion, I believe, rather than just, the CWF there and then it just dilapidating, we utilized the building.
When you have that connection to that history, like Florida wrestling, like first time I ever wrestled in the Sportatorium and went home and watched it, and Gordon called my match. I was like, holy crap, Gordon Soley is calling my match on TV. That means a lot. Like all the arenas in Florida, you hit like the Bayfront Center and the Armory and when you wrestle in those places you went to as a kid, that's amazing.
When we went to WCW, the only thing, you can take my pay, you can take everything. I just wanted Gordon Soley commentate my match. And it happened. I could die a happy man.
We had Tony Schiavone too, but we don't talk about that.
But then we had a whole other 10 years after that, which was.
Did you ever have Lance Russell call the match?
No.
Really? I don't know when he quit.
Maybe have somewhere down the line, but I don't.
He worked for WCW too.
He may have, Bob.
He was great too.
Yeah,
we had Ross though. Probably you had Jim Ross. Probably.
Jim Ross, yeah. We had Chris Cruz several times.
Forget him. He's an asshole.
Tony Schiavone.
Dusty.
Dusty, yeah, that was another one right there. It's like, man, you can really
Well, Bill Watts.
Yeah, Dusty was my favorite, and really, I never was one that tug on his coattail or anything there, but I genuinely met him outside of WCW like once. It's kind of Hogan. I met Hogan once.
I've never met Hogan.
And that's it.
Not fair. I've always been a fan of Hogan. I never got to meet him.
Yeah, Hogan was good, but he never took the place of Dusty, and he never took the place of.
You mean in your eyes?
In my eyes, yeah. Exactly.
Because I'm going to say, he became a huge star of the same. Put the glasses back.
Another one, good commentator. I remember back when we were with WWF. It was WWF back then. And Bobby Heenan.
Oh, Bobby Heenan.
Commentator.
Yeah, I think Heenan was with us in WCW.
Yeah, he was.
Too.
Yeah. And WCW.
And Oakland.
And they were commentating when we were working the Bushwhackers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Two great guys as well.
They started, I don't know what they did in WCW back. We were working, it was the Stars and Stripes, and they started calling us Trit and Travis. It was Tony Schiavone. They, instead of Rick and Sonny, it was Southern Posse, Trit and Travis. They had something in mind. It's not in what you can do in this business so much as who you know. We didn't know anybody. We were trained by the great Malenko, but our talents inside kind of gained us a little nickname in there. It seemed like we were going somewhere, but we just got a big push, without, sealing the deal, I guess you could say. But we went on to wrestle a lot of the upper, talented guys and did quite well against because we earned our spot. They didn't just throw us in.
And a lot of times success in the business is being in the right place, being seen by the right person at the right time, like Johnny.
And being ready.
Like Mark Merrill. He went in there as Mark Merrill as a TV guy like, we were at that time.
Yeah.
Dusty saw him that one time for whatever reason, like, he looks a little like he had an idea in his head and he ran with it.
Yeah, exactly. Right place, right time.
Exactly.
Because guys like that.
So he'd been there before, and then maybe Dusty wasn't there that day. Then he comes up again, and Dusty's there, and he's like, "Whoa, wait, I like this kid." And he became a star.
That's how Jungle Dusty just popped over Jim Steele. Jungle Jim, seen that physique getting in there. Though. Gave my job right. Yeah, let's throw a leaf on him. And
Jungle Jim is like the after picture of Jungle Boy in AEW.
With a real, well. Anyway,
the
keychain model.
Yeah. So the Wish model, or they call that
Timu or what is
Timu, that's the thing now. Timu.
Yeah.
But I wrestled Jumbo Jim. What is his real name? I don't even
know. Yeah. He's in the medical field now. Believe that or not.
So he got smart.
He's like a nurse or.
Yeah, he is a nurse.
Because I remember one time he wrestled Vader and he got his bell rung and he comes back and goes, "Oh man, that was stiff. I'm a little dizzy, but I like it." I'm like, but now he's in the medical field. Well, maybe it knocks some sense to him. I ain't making no money doing this. I'm going to end up in the hospital.
I ran into him about 3 years ago. Him and remember Kenny Kendall.
Oh, sure.
Kenny calls me. I'm coming into town. All right, so we all met up, me, him.
Yeah, I think I was supposed to be there, and something came up, and I didn't make it.
And we all went to Hooters Wing House, and shot the shit. And it was good seeing those guys, man, after all these years.
Yeah, I think Kenny went on Kenny Kendall went on a couple of trips to WCW.
Yeah.
Good to know he's still alive. You said 3 years ago.
And then, And Kenny was down in Puerto Rico when we were down there.
Remember that kid Ian Weston?
Ian Weston.
I wonder what happened to him. He was a little bit of a weirdo.
Yeah.
A loner.
That was my first match with Malenko. He was trained by Malenko.
Yeah.
And Larry would put the matches together, and I worked him my first match ever.
Here's what I think happened with Ian Weston. Most of the guys that trained with us back in the late 80s, early 90s, whatever you want to call it there, we were looking for jobs. We were training for jobs. We were serious that we wanted to make this a career. And we get through everything in. Myself, anyway, 110%, sacrificed so many things to get a career in this business. Opposed to the way things are done today, people train just enough to come in, call themselves a wrestler, get a picture. Next year, they're out and they're done. They call that a complete career. That is the difference between guys today and the guys from our era. We were really shooting, and we had livelihoods, and we depended on
That explains my problem. I only gave 95%.
that.
Where were you when I needed you, Rick?
When I started at Malenko's, heck, I was 29 going on 30.
Well, you're not anymore, son. I mean,
I was almost 30 years old when I started.
Wow, that's almost Damodel's page-ish.
Yeah.
You know, 30
Sonny's-
years old.
He's a little older than I am, so I think I was about 25.
But you know how old Joe Saraceno was when he started.
Yeah, mad props, brother. Yeah, I mean, it's the same training. You know, if you're learning to do it correctly as it was back then, and it hurts. It hurts. And then if you're not man enough to endure it and make it through, then you go back to the cheap seats.
The one thing we didn't do in those days, right? When you had like say you're working a house show, you'd be there an hour for the show. You didn't have time to go over your matches for 3 hours for a 5-minute match. You went out there, you knew the finish, you knew this, you knew that, but the rest of it was just
off the fly, off
So
of
much
your experience and knowing what to do.
And I've seen guys in the back nowadays who just did it. And then they go out there and they're like lost halfway through, and they're like working in slow motion because I think they're trying to remember their sequence.
That's the easiest way to.
Well, when you get the referee comes, whatever back in the day, you know the finish.
Yeah, and a lot of times you weren't even in the same dressing room.
No, not at all.
Unless it was team.
In Puerto Rico, that's all you knew. Well, you got the finish, but it was in Spanish.
They had the referee come over and tell you.
It was in Spanish, so if you didn't know Spanish, then you didn't know what we did. But I knew hot punch, amigo, hot punch. Invader 3, a hot punch, amigo, you better sell.
And I realize things change, so it's not necessarily a knock on today's business. It's changed, and it's more popular now, and are making more money now than any time in history.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'll never knock the rest of it.
As far as WWE goes, anyway.
To even step in this ring and go through the motions and get anywhere in this business, it's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart easy at all.
I believe that most of the people in the business, the ones that are successful, have the same love and passion for what we do. They just play into the system. They have to do what they're told.
And the guys now, they have a lot more tools to use to their advantage. We didn't have anything ourselves and stories.
They make more money and they wrestle less. And they have people that guide them. We didn't have agents back in the day, right?
Exactly.
WCW had agents for whatever reason, but they didn't agent your match. They didn't come in and go, do this, do that. You went with the guy you wrestled. Like I'd sit in the dressing room with Sting when he put his makeup on, and I'd tell him what we're going to do. And if he didn't like something, he'd change it. But for the most part, he was easy going. But they didn't have like Mike Graham in there with us going, oh, do this, do that. Mike would sit in a room with Magnum and just come in and go, oh, this is who you're working, this is your fan. Okay.
They wouldn't critique you.
No.
Like guys now, there's actual guys that are critiqued, even including myself, critique guys to make them a little bit better.
Oh, yeah.
If we could have had that back in our day, we could have elevated a lot more than, where we were at.
I remember there were certain people like Gene Anderson was in WCW for a long time, and he'd sit behind the curtain, and when I come back, if he gave me a wink, that meant I did good. But if I didn't get the wink, he'd go, he'd come over and he'd go, nah. He'd tweak a little thing that I did wrong or something. It made me feel good.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
Terry Taylor and Mike Graham really, really like the Posse us, and like you say, with the wink and good job, guys, and things like that. They didn't say anything to you, which was rare. Certain guys wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a good thing too. But if people started you parting like the Red Sea, you're really screwed up.
Yeah. Grizzly Smith was good about that too. He would say, hey, good job, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike was awesome. Mike Graham. I never worked with Terry Taylor. You ever worked with Terry Taylor? Because I never did. No,
I didn't work with Terry Taylor, but he was, our agent a lot of times.
Like guys I wish I would have worked with never was like Terry Taylor was like right at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. I would have loved to work with those guys.
Yeah, as far as just 100% all around, got all the bases covered, being a good, great guy, Terry Taylor is the man, brother.
Yep.
We worked with Mike Graham, Steve Kern.
Oh, me too.
That was always.
Yeah, we had, I think it was Steve Kern and Mike Graham.
Right.
Somewhere around. Sarasota, we stayed in knots the whole time, so we really didn't get this.
Yeah. But if you worked with Mike and Steve and you didn't have a good match or you didn't learn something, go back to flipping burgers because you're not teachable. It's not registering because they're awesome and still are today. To us, Mike obviously calling, but Steve still. I love Steve.
Yeah, to us a good match would be we dominate, everything.
Well,
in our eyes, but we had that with them, and obviously we didn't dominate, but we had one hell of a match.
Yeah. A barn burner, a Pier 6 brawl. Yeah.
Great stuff for
Yeah,
sure.
those are awesome. And now you're still part of the business. You're working for that.
I do WWM Proving Ground.
That's right, Proving Ground.
Yes, sir. I am commissioner,
Yeah.
newly appointed commissioner out there. And
If I remember, I don't want to interrupt you, but it's my show. If I remember correctly, you were throwing your weight around. It was a little less weight than now. And I punched you, knocked you down.
Yeah, Bob,
Right
I
there.
do remember that. And I
Oh.
chased you right underneath the bottom rope. So this feud is still going on, actually. Because you didn't go over the rope. I didn't go over the rope. That match is still the longest
That
match.
was the Battle War. I'm talking about what I did at the Proving Ground place. I punched you. You were trying to be nice to me. Disrespect me.
Okay, you're
Remember
digging
that?
up bones. Digging up bones. I got you.
Oh.
All right.
It's on video, but don't watch it because I fell down too.
This show's not over, folks. Remember that. I still have to show him what Jody Simon told me to show him.
Early Christmas gift?
Early Christmas.
Well, we can always just delete what we're doing right now.
No.
I know where the phone is. It's recording.
I got a Mountain Dew over here. I know he likes Mountain Dews, and he can be paid.
Mountain Dew abuse will get you nowhere with me.
Yeah, but in all actuality,
Like if you want to cut a promo on me and you rip up a picture of Evel Knievel and pour a Mountain Dew on the ground, it's on. Forget Putin. It's World War III.
Speaking of that, traveling from Tampa to Atlanta with Bob Cook and David Pinzer. David Pinzer would throw darts at Evel Knievel.
Oh my God!
And Bob Cook's coming unglued. Well, you sound like Penelope Paradise in the back.
Were you with us at one time when I pulled the car off the road and threatened to kill Dave because he's like kept on it?
Yeah,
I said, stop
I
it,
believe
damn it."
I was. Yeah, you were genuinely hot.
And Dave's like, calm down.
That's where David said, "Oh, he scaled back a little bit."
You know what? He apologized to me for that years later, however many years later, when he stayed at my house one.
He's apologized over and over. I've seen.
Oh,
probably in person and on everywhere. Send you letters.
You know, Dave would rent the cars like where he lived in Miami in a van and come pick me up. And then one time we're going home and he stayed at my house because he got tired. And he saw all my Evel Knievel stuff. And he goes, I never realized how big Evel Knievel was. I apologize for doing that. Getting on my case about it. I was like, well, thanks, Dave. Don't ever come back. No, I'm just kidding. Now Dave's got his second book out. Get his first book, get his second book.
Yeah, Evel Knievel. Yeah. All right in my book.
I mean, I was at his wedding.
Yeah.
And he's still married. No, I'm not. What's the secret, Dave? Probably success. Maybe treating your wife better. Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
I flawed in all those areas.
Yeah, I was very impressed by your enthusiasm with Evel Knievel.
Well, I loved him. He was my friend.
Yeah, well, he's that way to a lot of people, but you got the close and intimate.
That's true. I like to brag about that. But it's your show. It's your show.
No, it's not our show, Bob. It's the Bob Cook and the
Well, you're the
Twisted
guest.
Wrestling show here.
You're the guest, and we are delivering Christmas gifts to the world
That's right.
with your presents and your gimmicks.
Yep. And one of these.
But seriously, you're with that. Are there good kids at this place? No, that's funny right there. That little hair right there. Talk about that.
Well, actually, what's happened in that battle royal, John Strange, I was wrapped up with John Strange, and I went to back up from him, and his head kept coming. I noticed his hair was caught in my button there, and I was trying to, take it, untangle it, and things like that in the middle of a match. And he just pull it, he says. I took his head and I pushed back, and it just ripped roots and all out of his hair. And I still can't get it off the button. So you know what, John Strange, you're crazy. And you are strange, and I'll keep a piece of your memorabilia forever.
I avoided him when he came in the ring.
Huh?
I avoided him when he came in.
The kid's a veteran.
Really?
He's like 20 or well over 20 years in the business. He's very, very good. He was up there in Kentucky. That whatever run, was going through there at that time. But he's.
I say every time I've gone to Proving Ground, all the guys are real respectful to me. They pretend to know who I am, even though
they should. Yeah, everybody knows who Bob Cook is.
No, but they're always very respectful, and that means a lot.
They're all legit kids. They all come from.
I mean, I don't like any of them, but they're respectful.
Yeah. But they do come from all over the United States. Some from Japan, some from Canada, some. I think we had an Australian kid through there, but yeah, they're all aspiring to be professional wrestlers, and you know what that means.
It's sad to see Sean Davis abandon all of us. Oh, well, but I did it first. I went to Tennessee.
Yeah, well, life goes on. Things happen and people change.
Thank you, Fred and Sheila, by the way. Threw that out there.
Yeah. So,
But I am glad to be back in Florida.
Fred doing?
He's doing good. He's doing good. Yeah. He was trained by the great Malenko.
Yes.
Same time I was.
Yes. Sean Waltman, trained by the great Malenko. He was a little bit before us, but we happened to see him in WCW and, congratulated him on all his glory and stuff.
Yeah, he went on to become
It's good, proud of him.
star.
Good for them.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, WWE Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Sean.
WWE. Yeah.
We're all Hall of Famers. We just, never got to be in the Hall of Fame.
We've always thought they should have like what they call the Star Makers wing of the WWE Hall of Fame, where every year they would honor someone like Barry Horowitz, or George South, guys like that, Mike Jackson, guys that are known for, being around forever and doing the TV stuff that the wrestling fans disrespect every day with the term jobber.
Yeah.
I hate that term.
Yeah. Well, people can say what they want. I know what I've done. I know what we've done in our career. Very proud of that. You can say it all you want. It doesn't really hurt me, but we've got the accolades and all the credentials and everything to show where we've been in this business. We put a very good mark. The old adage, leave the business better than it was when you got there. We did that.
I think we've made a lot of friends. We've met a lot of people.
A lot of good times. A lot of beers.
I think we got
I can picture Sonny right now at the Ramada Inn in Atlanta in the swimming pool with a beer in his hand. That's my real image of Sonny. I wish I had a camera picture of it.
I did that a couple times.
I went to a birthday party or something a couple years ago in St. Pete. A Cuban was there, and there was Sonny in the pool with a beer.
Yeah.
Yep. That's funny.
That's
funny.
That's me.
Speaking of the Ramada, that was the beer drinking alley right
the dungeon.
The dungeon, yeah.
Oh, yes.
You didn't torture people there, but you had a hell of a good time.
And many cold ones down
I always
there.
liken the dungeon to the bar scene in Star Wars, because it was just filled with chaos and ridiculousness. Like in one corner, you had Magnum TA sitting there talking. So you hear Brian Pillman's raspy voice off in the distance.
Yeah, Sid Vicious over there backing up to Mike Graham with a squeegee.
Dusty and Kevin Sullivan.
Sid Vicious had the squeegee.
Yeah, Dusty and Kevin Sullivan are yelling at the TV because they're watching baseball. Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton holding court somewhere. You had Tom Zink doing his Dusty imitation at the bar. You had Harley going around zapping people with his stun gun.
Right. The Nasty Boys coming in after a trip somewhere else.
Yeah, from the opposition. Everybody.
That's how Sid and Brian got into it that night.
Yeah,
because I was there.
Yeah,
WWE was in town the same time we were, and they naturally come over. And for some reason, I think Sid started bragging about how much money he was making compared to Brian, and then he got into it. And then squeegee and that's a legendary.
Getting in a fight there. And I remember that night. That exact night. Not a lot of people know about this, but I was standing out there outside the front there, the foyer. And Sid pulls up in this long Continental. He revving the engine. I don't know if he's waiting on somebody or not, but he's trashed. And he's revving the engine. I was like, "Hey man, you need to calm it down." He's looked at me and like, "Fuck you!" and hits reverse and hits the gas and goes backwards just like that over the hedges.
Over the hedges.
And he just stops. The car's all jacked up. And he looks at me and puts it in drive and gets out of there. I was like, "I told you."
He's lucky. He's lucky he lived.
It is. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But when he wasn't drunk, he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
To me, anyway.
He
He was always
was.
nice.
I've seen him talk to him.
I never got to wrestle him, thankfully, because he broke Rick Ryder's neck.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm glad I didn't have to wrestle him.
Wow. Yeah, I have no regrets.
No, I mean, that's
Even the Vader gimmick.
it's part of your story.
It's an experience.
Right. Like Carl Gotch used to come by the Great Malenko School when I started.
Right. We've seen him many
and
times.
visit him. And he put me in a sleeper hold for real. And every time Carl would come by, I was just like, "Oh no," because he'd put you through your paces, right? And at the time, I was just like, "God, I hate this." He put me in a sleeper hold one for real to demonstrate. He goes, "Let me show you guys how to do it for real. Come here, Bob." And my jaw hurt for like a month.
Yeah.
I'm like, next thing you know, I'm on the ground like, I don't know. But I look back on it now, and it was like an honor to be part of that.
Right. Yeah, an experience for sure.
But that's the thing. We've been in the ring with all the legends. And when people say something, you were just a jobber, and you're just like, well, who the hell did you ever wrestle?
Right.
You're Steamboat and Lawler and all those guys.
Well, you just don't jump up into this ring and perform. There are steps that it takes to earn the right to, and you just don't, just because you train doesn't mean you're going to get that. You have to earn that spot. Somebody has to think highly enough of you to trust that you're going to be okay in that ring. And once you've earned that trust, you're kind of basically legit.
Right. If you go to WCW and you don't do good, you're not
And
coming back.
You're not coming back. And you're getting an ass whipping. Let me tell you
And
that.
I was there for almost 8 years. So,
Yeah, we were too. We were there for
awesome.
about 8, 9 years until we weren't.
So it weren't.
Well, the last days there at MGM and stuff, before we heard that they were close to the building, imagine that. We got a win over the Bianos, 4-5.
Who was that?
So
I remember
the Bianos, the Mexican guys, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Terry Taylor says, "When you guys raise your hands, we want you to jump up and like you just won the Olympics or something like that." And I remember that and just jumping. I never jumped up and won before, so let me
try practice that.
So, we did
speculation.
So did seal the deal on that win, and then we heard their boys we're out of business.
I heard that after that happened, you guys got really big heads, and that's really what closed the company down.
No,
that's not true.
No,
just kidding.
No, we had. I don't remember. What was the two guys? The two big old Jack guys that was in there. I know that covers a lot of territory.
High energy.
Remember Terry Taylor put us in the trailer together with him.
Were they called high energy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. High voltage.
High voltage. That's right.
What it was.
Yeah,
and they come out there and they're just full of rage and
stocky muscular.
Yeah, they look good, look great,
yeah,
but they really weren't 100% trained, obviously, and they kind of took a few extra liberties that some didn't like, and they put us in a trailer together, and he ducked and he hit and dropped down, and then we were out of the trailer.
So what you're saying is, if they were transported from then to now, they'd fit right in. Not trained all the way.
Yeah. It's like if we were teleported from then to now, we would dominate this business right now. The Posse, the 1990 Southern Posse, I would put up against any tag team, especially in the state of Florida today.
Let's never say never.
Hey,
Sonny's retired now. There's no better time than now to get in shape. But look at Joe and I. We go to the gym 6 days a week, even if it don't look like it.
What an inspiration. There's a few guys, veteran guys out there that really are inspirations.
Oh, yeah.
To us
old Danny Spivey. He's in amazing shape.
Is he? Yeah, I seen him at the luncheon a couple of years ago, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's how long it was. But he when I saw him last time, he was amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I seen him at the
luncheon.
Yeah.
By the way, the next luncheon is January 31st.
Okay.
Last Friday of January.
So it ain't.
As of now.
How's Brian?
I'll let you know it's canceled, but we'll still hold it.
Yeah. How's Brian?
He's doing good.
He's doing good on track, everything.
Yep.
Been through a lot. A lot of the guys have been through a lot up in there,
With the hurricanes and all that stuff.
Well, hurricanes and some personal issues too,
Yeah. Well, that's life.
Right. And not that we don't have ours, but
look at my personal. I got my share. Just ask Joe. I got my share of personal issues.
Yeah. But
I really do appreciate you guys coming out. I love you guys.
Yeah,
We've been friends for a long time. You got to love the Malenko alumni because we are a dying breed, just not in the next 5 minutes because that would leave me a little bit embarrassing. I do feel a little chest pain right now, but I'll hold it off for another couple minutes.
Yeah, lots of some guys went the duration, from then until now. But I know these two guys here have been the whole entire.
When you think about all the guys we knew that aren't here anymore, like Mark Starr and Chris Champion, all those guys that were Malenko guys, Jimmy Del Rey.
I mean, some great guys.
Oh, yeah.
And as years go by, I mean, we're losing them every year. It's just, I mean, some of the great legends.
You got a lot of people that go through life and they'll think of a moment and they'll go, that day was the best time of my life. I look back on my wrestling career and said, all those years, not days, not minutes, all those years.
That era, that time
of my life.
Yeah. A couple guys that we ran with a lot was the Ayala brothers. Ray and Mondo. Yeah. It was great guys to work with, and love Ray to death.
Joe knows that, but that club's fine. Way to go, Ray!
We had a couple matches with them that were really good. We had a green bean match that stands out forever. Sonny went and picked a hamper full of peas, and we beat them up with a hamper full of peas out there in Plant City one time. And then the fairgrounds, we beat them up, with the cowbells. And things
remember when they did that?
They take a good ass whipping, that's for sure.
When Joe Malenko put that armory show together a few years ago
at
the Jewish Youth Center, but it's the Fort Homer House.
Right.
Ray and I were supposed to have a match. We never wrestled each other before. But as the match got closer, me being the sissy I am, I didn't get into shape. I, in my mind, thought I
You
could.
wanted to.
And I sent Jody a message, and I said, because this is in honor of your father, I can't do this. I don't want to embarrass him. And he let me out of the match because obviously, and I felt so bad because Ray was really looking forward to it. I was looking forward to working with Ray.
You would have done fine, Bob.
No, I wouldn't have.
Yes, you would. In my opinion, you would.
Don't lie to me.
We're our own worst enemy.
Well, like I said, never say never. Right here at the Twisted Wrestling Studios on January 11th, which you guys are invited if you actually come. We're wrestling. Me and Joe against the Cuban Assassin and Eddie
Oh, man.
And with Fantasy and Frankie Reyes in his corner. You believe that crap?
Wow.
But guess who's in our corner?
Penelope.
No.
Delicious D.
Don't diss the D.
I'm not ditching
That
this
upsets
D,
me.
but I understand that. I love D.
So do I.
But Penelope
Well, let me just say this.
has not lost it.
There's a what do they call that? Something's in my ear.
Yeah.
She might be here.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I got an inkling.
Well, January 11th is going to be a sight to see, and I hope you save us a spot.
Yeah.
Because.
Well, I know you guys are here now. We're just talking calm. We're talking collective, as you'd say, reminiscent about the past. But I know you guys get around a ring. If there's people in that audience, and there's action in that ring, anything is possible is where I'm going.
Yeah.
So they can sit here and say, oh, my bad. I'm retired. I'm sick. Oh, I don't know how old you are, but I'm this, I'm that. But you get around that ring and it gets that blood flow.
Nothing like adrenaline. Adrenaline is a hell of a drug, baby.
Remember what I just said? Cuban Assassin. I've known him forever. I used to love the guy. I still love the guy, I'll be honest. But he stabbed me in the back. So if you guys are here, I might need some help. You better not bring that Ricky Santana either.
The Cuban is known for a few punches.
But when you think about it, like the Funks, wherever Dory was, Terry was. Wherever Terry was, Dory was. Wherever the Cuban is, Ricky is.
Yes.
So if we did bring Ricky, which I'm not saying he is, but you guys are here, I can use the help.
We've had some matches with those two.
Exactly.
We're no strangers to the shenanigans that happen at a wrestling.
Delicious D is awesome, but she can't help me against that kind of guy.
I love her, Delicious D. I really do. As much as I do love Penelope P. It was great seeing her. The last time we saw her, it had been like
that's right. She came to that show.
Man,
she did. She didn't just come to that show. She helped me in that match.
Exactly. Yeah.
If I remember right. You hit her.
So I didn't hit Penelope.
I watched it on video. You get something to her. She got on the apron, the next thing you know, she's done. Wow.
Not me.
I didn't know it at the time, but I watched it back.
No, you didn't. You don't have to show me.
You got those glasses on because
I would never do something like that, Bob. But what I will do, what I can do, is give you the message that Jody Simon wanted to give you. He wanted to.
Oh no! Wait.
Everybody believes that Bob Cook has the power of the punch, and he delivers the greatest punch in this business. Well, I'm here to tell you, and my partner's here to tell you, that's no lie.
Oh.
Bob Cook, you do have the greatest punch in the business, and we appreciate you for bringing us on your show.
Thank you.
And I have much respect for Joe Saracena, Bob Cook, and I just couldn't fulfill Jody Simon's wishes. So,
Well, then never say never, Sonny. But I do appreciate you guys being here. I want to once again say Merry Christmas to the world, and even the people I don't like this time.
It's been
Merry
an honor
Christmas.
being here, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
See you next time, gang. Ho, ho, ho!